So in the last video, I asked you guys what you wanted to see, me draw, and pretty much the majority of you said that you want to see me draw faces. I'm happy to be doing some faces. I'm always down for a challenge, but yeah, I am looking forward to it. It's going to be faces, but which I know is not. It's something that I'm training myself to be better at. So it's pretty much the perfect topic to choose. I don't know if I mentioned, but 86% of you guys said faces. I don't know if I put poor choices on here or just faces were a good option. I think, yeah, I shouldn't be surprised, right? They are a good video to watch as well, as most of us want to be able to draw faces. So without going rambling on too much, I want you guys to go down into the description, click on the Pinterest board, and you'll see the references there. I do hope it's been working for everyone. I probably should test that more. But yeah, grab your references, grab a pencil or pen or whatever you want, piece of paper, and let's just get cracking with it. I want you guys to join in. Feel free to follow along, pause the video, do whatever you want to do. But as long as you're joining in, I'll be very happy. So let's go over there. All right, good. Hey guys, got an addition to the recording studio now. It's not an addition. I put my MacBook webcam on, so you guys can also see me as I'm drawing, which we'll see whether you guys like this or not, whether I like it or not. So far, it looks pretty good. If I'm gonna be looking either here or here, here is my reference, so I'm gonna be looking over here for that pretty often. Here's just my screen where I'm checking the recording, so just to let you guys know if it's a bit weird when I'm looking over here, but my main concentration is going to be right down here, which is what I'm drawing, and you'll be able to see that as well. The mic is here if there's a little shadow, just if anyone's curious. But to start off, we're going to be using my Koh-i-Noor, which I don't know if you guys saw in my community post. I customized this thing, and I'm so happy with it. Look at this. I think I've made it truly one of a kind, which makes me proud. I don't know. It's a stupid feeling. It took me a couple hours to get it looking like this, but I did it. And I'm very happy. And I hope this lasts for forever. I'm pretty sure this is aluminium. It's not metallic. It's not magnetic, so I'm pretty sure it's aluminium, but we'll see over time if it corrodes or anything like that. But it's got a nice brushed feel to it because I filed it down. But for today, I'm going to be using this. I've got a little more detailed eraser here, which is a Tombow Zero. Great company, by the way. Do love my Tombow products. We've got a Copic marker for some shadows, in case I'm going to explore that a little bit, and an eraser and just something to sharpen my pencil and with a little pencil sharpener, because these need sharpeners. I'm using HB lead for today because I've been writing with this recently and I forgot to change it out. But yeah, let's go straight for the faces. I've got a really cool reference of this old dude here, and we will see how it goes. Now, I do not expect myself to get the resemblance of these guys like really well straight away, because I've never been great at that. It's definitely something that I myself am trying to work on, so it might not be perfect, but that's why we're here. We're practicing, and we're practicing together. That's the whole point of this entire thing that I'm doing, so I want you guys to definitely follow along and enjoy yourselves as well. I'm trying to enjoy myself here, so we're all going to try and do the same thing. But as you can see, I'm going to start off by laying my foundations, as I like to say all the time, right? I do like to talk about my foundations. I like to be prepared for the drawing and just to have as much information on what I'm doing at once as possible. Am I dropping frames? No, I thought I am. We'll see, I guess, in the recording. I've got an older fellow here, so it might be a little bit more difficult because they're not the easiest to draw. I'm not gonna lie. This one looks a little bit grumpy as well, so I guess I'll give him some some more lines over here to indicate that. And once again, just like always, I'm putting in the basic shapes as much as possible. I can already tell that I made his face a little bit too short. Let's see if I can correct that a little bit. Now I'll rub this out. Got this face coming along here. I'm using my little sketchbook because we're out of paper on the other one, unfortunately. But I'll look to getting a bigger one soon enough. At the moment, I need to fill this one out as much as possible. I will do a little sketchbook tour of it eventually. Alright, I've done a little face and the nose here. If it's an older guy, so we're gonna add a couple wrinkles, so just putting that in for reference already. And I'm gonna do rounds here for his eyes. I should be paying a little bit more attention to what I'm drawing here. You can see the structure of the face here. This is why we did the skulls. If you remember, we have the bones like around here. I don't know what these are called, eyebrow bones. So it's good that we remember those lessons, so we can use that information for this. Now the desk is moving a little bit. I had to try and push it up against the wall a little bit more, just so it doesn't move around too much. Let's see. I know I should be going for resemblance as much as possible, but to be honest, I think my main focus here right now is just going to be placement of all his features. I think that's what's going to give me the most value out of this at the moment, because I know I'm just going to sit here struggling with the resemblance, so I'm just going to try and almost pick my battles here, I guess. Since this is an older fellow, you can see that his cheeks are almost like starting to come in a little bit more. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we can see that on the paper. I am starting to regret not picking like a darker lead for this. Let's see. I don't have them nearby. Alright. Let's see. Do we have a 2B pencil here? So we can use this one for... Yeah, alright. We'll use the other one for some outlines. Let's see. The reference does actually have irises. Would you look at that? I have a feeling as soon as I add these, they're going to make him look a little younger than he is. But oh, lips have been a struggle for me. So this is probably where I'll be learning the most. So I guess it's very good that you guys voted for this one, because I need a lot more practice when it comes to faces. Doing it isn't always the greatest option for me. I don't know why. I feel like I should be doing something else first. Faces are definitely a complicated one. I think they're probably going to be the hardest out of everything we've covered so far, in my opinion. Even though like all the bones and stuff, like the rib cage, that's all hard, but you know, there's a little bit more lenience there, I guess, a little bit more acceptance. Here it's a lot more unforgiving. If you make the wrong choices, it's going to show, and it's going to show really badly. Like mine is definitely showing with the lips right now, that it's not looking ideal, I'm not gonna lie. But what we're gonna do is I've now kind of put in the base layer. So I'll just adjust my seat a little bit here and we'll go in again. And we'll try and do a better job this time. I'm almost going to try and also go off on my own a little bit here. See if I can make some changes to make this look a little better. After all, we get to choose what we're putting down on the paper, right? We're the artists. Or even though we're studying, and I do suggest that when you're studying something from references that you go as accurate as you can. You know, sometimes it's best that you do as I say rather than do as I do. But that's the whole point of practice. Like I said, this is not going to be perfect, and I know it's not going to be perfect, but we're going to try and learn. I'm going to try and learn. I don't know how many faces will get done today. That depends on how much focus I put into one, but I'm completely okay with making this a slightly longer video, just so we can get a couple of these faces in. I'm going to start putting in a couple of shadows just to see what we're doing. Build a little bit more form on the faces. I think this might still be HB led, but it just seems to be working a lot better. And something's not working here. I think it's the eye. I think the eye is a little bit too far inwards. Definitely going to make him look a lot scarier than he is, which... Oh, I was about to apologize, but it is a sculpture of someone's face. It's not an actual face. Well, it is, but it's a... Still, apologies to the artist who created this. Hopefully I'm not butchering them too much. Although I am a little bit. I'm gonna be honest with myself here. Maybe rather than focusing on the shadows, I should focus on creating the face first. I did choose a pretty difficult one to start off with. The elderly are not the easiest to draw. They're rather wrinkly and they have a lot more definition in their faces sometimes than just like your normal person would. Also, I don't know why I'm doing the shadows. I got the Copics for that. So let's forget about the shadows for a bit. Let's focus on creating a good face. How about that? Getting lost in my own thoughts here. The ears, they're very much out. Again, doing the shadows, shouldn't be doing the shadows. That's I've noticed that's a weird habit of mine. Whenever I'm drawing, I will just fill in shadows no matter what. Even if I know that I'm going to be like rendering a piece later on, I'll still fill in the shadows, which it kind of makes zero sense for me to be doing that. It's just putting in extra work for myself and just not something I need to be doing. Let's see. Got the head around like this. Look, see, by second attempt, we are doing a little bit better. Definitely starting to get a more defined face going. There's a big shadow here. So what I'm going to do is, instead of like filling it out, I'm going to draw off where we want the shadow to be, more or less. See, I was just warming up. That's all it was. I was warming up. That's why it wasn't working at first. Now we're getting there a little bit. It's starting to look a little better. Hopefully you guys can see it pretty well on the... Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. I'm hoping that's not going to be an issue. Alright, we're filling this out again. Now the lips. We're going back to the lips. Lips are sucky, man. I'm not the best at doing the lips. Let's fill in the rest a little bit, just so we know what we're talking about here. Got some more wrinkles happening down here, more shadows, which we will fill in using the Copics, which I forget. What I'm gonna do is grab a piece of paper here and put it behind this, just so that. See, now the bonus of you guys having a second view is you're gonna see me mess everything up. Whereas before I was hidden away and no one would know what I was doing. But I've exposed myself now, so nothing I can do about it. Let's see. Let's try and do these lips. Okay, so if I'm looking correctly, I'm not, obviously. I'm not looking enough. If I'm looking correctly, the way they work is they go upwards here, and then they start to droop off like this. And I'll do that. And the lower lip is much less visible here, so we'll do a little thing here. And well, that actually, yeah, that looks pretty good actually. Damn, yeah, alright, not too bad. Add a couple more wrinkles. Notice there's a blemish on his face here. Man, I'll tell you what, faces like this are a lot more fun to draw, that's for sure. Look at that, doing a pretty good job here. We've picked it up. We've definitely picked it up. It was looking a lot more grim at the beginning, but now we're making progress. We're actually making this look more human. And you guys get to see the progression, right? Look at that. That looks pretty nice. Let's go in with the Copic marker a little bit. Just add some shadows. Have a little bit of fun. We don't usually use markers or anything like that. I don't even use these that much, which I know I need to be, because these are really fantastic. I love my alcohol markers. I do have some under here, under the desk. They're also very great, but they're much cheaper than Copics. It was like some big pack that you can buy in like Lidl or something. I think they had like a sale or something. And I had this massive pack of alcohol markers, not Copics. I don't think any store would sell Copics for that cheap, because these things are not that by any stretch of the imagination. They are extremely expensive, but I told myself, you know what? You've always wanted them. You've always wanted to use a Copic. Everyone seems to praise them a huge amount. Everyone says Copics are the way. Everyone buys Copics. You see them absolutely everywhere. If you look at like a drawing YouTube video or something, and I've got to say, guys, there is a reason why you see them everywhere. It's just the quality of them is definitely noticeable. The ink is definitely noticeable. Things I produce with this marker are a lot better than things I produce with other markers, at the moment at least. Obviously that could be because I've improved as an artist, but they're just this looks like a plug of their product right now. I'm not plugging them by any means. I'm just saying that I've enjoyed using them, and yeah, that I definitely will continue to buy Copics now, because I think they're worth the money. They're definitely worth the money. Even in terms of like this little brush thing that's on there, it's really good. You can get pro markers which have the same, and I've got a couple of them which they're also great. Do you know what? The best tool is the one you can afford and the one you can buy. I bought 3 of these because I thought, you know what, it'll be a wise investment, and I draw a lot, so why not? But pro markers, just as good. Add a little bit more shadow here, just so it's we know which side is darker. Don't want to overdo it, but it is fun to use these markers. They also blend very nicely. That's another thing that I've noticed about the Copics. They do blend very nice. As you can see, the color does change over time when it dries, but that's it's just the same way with every marker, really. These are all cool grays, so cool gray 1, cool gray 3, and got a cool gray 5 here, which I'm going to use for a couple of the darkest spots in this. Where else have we got some really dark spots? This here's all a dark spot. This here's a dark spot. This here's a dark spot. I think the lips, yeah, the lips are a very dark spot. Do that dark spot under here. Dark spot over here. More dark spots. Should I do the eye as a dark spot? We'll do a little bit, just so it's there. Just so we've got like a face that's slightly more defined. Honestly, he looks a lot younger than he does in the picture, but he kind of looks like Hitman here. You know what? It is fun to sometimes paint more rather than draw, because what we're doing right now is we're technically painting this information in. And then if you want, you can try and blend these a little bit, so you get more of a gradual tone shifting here. But I'd say that looks pretty good, you know, bit of fun, a bit different than usual, because we usually just use a pencil. So that's number one, face number one. Let's have a look at the other reference that I've got here. What are we going to do for the other one? Oh, this one's interesting. Oh yeah, let's do this one. Yeah, so I found a different one now. Alright, move some of this stuff aside. Should we do a smaller one? I'll do a smaller one down here. Hopefully, yeah, that's good. I found this reference, which was I tried to push myself with these references. Usually I will go for like the typical just plain face, but I tried to find some more interesting ones for this one. So just more head shapes and sizes that I wouldn't usually draw. And I think it's just going to make it a little bit more interesting. Definitely more educational for me, because I want to practice. So I'm going to try and fill this in with information as much as I can. Again, as usual, always going in for the information. There. Let's build a little bit more here. Just going in with the shape, and then I'm gonna go in later on with more of the details. As you can see, I'm taking a little bit more of a cartoon approach almost to this one, maybe. I'm also running out of pages. If you guys have watched the channel, you know that's nothing new. And yeah, definitely more of a challenge with this face. There's more going on, so I don't really I don't usually practice. It's definitely an interesting definitely a more interesting face to practice. What's the title of this? Tony Atkins Blad. Tony Tony Atkins bald fug face. I can't read apparently. Definitely a fantastic expression on his face. I love it. I think this is wonderful. It's going to be handy on learning how to create more characters that we don't always think of at the beginning. Oh no! Oh, we've got some screen flicker going on. Good thing I noticed that. I hate when that happens. It's just because I don't have very great lighting here. I'm also not going to be doing this justice because I'm running out of freaking space, man. Let's move it up a little bit and we'll start going in with some more details. I've done like a rough sort of shape that I want to go for. I also don't know why I've only chosen bold characters. I did save a couple with hair, but I saved the Heisenberg on here, so I don't know why I went for the bold characters. Maybe I'm just trying to work on the face. That's what it is. Very angry eyes. Angry, partially confused eyes. That's what I'm saying. It's a fantastic expression. It's really not something I practiced very often. It's great to learn things like this, honestly. I don't know if I'm going right here again. As you guys see with most of my art, it is definitely a work in progress, and then it kind of starts to come together at the end. Let's see. I need to... Do you know what? I need to make a fundamentals lesson on how to use page space correctly. Because this is getting on my nerves. I make the same mistake like every single time. I just do not calculate where these drawings are going to go. I should start like putting in rough measurements somewhere before I start drawing these. Just so I know where I'm putting them. And just so I know I'm not going to run out of freaking space. Let's see. Definitely putting the lips here. I'm putting a little bit too much emphasis on them here. So it's not... You know what? It was a mistake doing this video. You know what? Sometimes it does feel like that when you're an artist. You know, no matter how much you try, it doesn't go the way you want it to, but don't worry, we'll get there in the end. This is me talking to myself but also to you guys, so we will get there in the end. It's all a progress. This is why I think it was good that we were going to practice this, because I can definitely foresee many more of these episodes. I was trying to sculpt out what this character looks like here. And again, we've got some nice shadows going on here. Let's see. Now we've got the ear over here. I think it's important that we challenge ourselves from time to time with these things. It's not always best to just go for the easiest option that you always draw. And I hope you guys oh great. I hope you guys are choosing some references that challenge you today. After all, we're trying to just go a little bit above our comfort zone, just at least a little bit, just so we start learning as much as we can, start building a visual library. As you can see, it's turning out a little bit okay. It sucks that it's off the page because I really like this reference, and I think it's one of the better references that I've done before. I'll have to revisit it at some point. Let's see. As you can see, my drawing style is very chicken scratchy. So it's... Many people look down upon this sort of this sort of drawing technique. I don't know what you want to call it. But I think it's alright. It looks good, it looks bad. In some cases it looks good, in others it's just fine. Now, let us add in the shadows. So you can see we're almost sculpting in again. And I'm only doing this for the absolute darkest parts of this. Almost looks like I'm giving him some sort of a mascara or whatever you call it. Oof, I made them look very scary there. My apologies, sir. Alright. Nose. Got some nice shadow forming here. Some nice shadow under his lips. Where else? Well, the t-shirt's black, so we can fill this out. We'll have a nice pop of contrast. I've got to say, these drawings do look a little bit different to my usual style. I don't know why I've gone seemingly so much off my style here. Do his ear and the behind here dark. Anything else that we've got that's like almost pure black? Cool. And then a little bit here for his lips. I do like these pens have a very fine tip on them, which is great for doing exactly what we're doing here. Like, oh, and I missed. And now we'll fill out. Obviously the references look a lot different than this. See, definitely need more practice with that. Also, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm not gonna lie, drawing these things on camera definitely makes them 5 times harder and puts 5 times more pressure on me. So sometimes, and I do apologize, sometimes the art may not be up to standard. But that's why I'm doing this. It's just another way for me to get better. And that's what I want to do. I want to become as good as I can. And I can then just pass that knowledge on to everyone else. Just, help you guys get to the same stage. That's my goal. That's what I want to do, and that's my purpose, I think. It's learn the art and then pass it on. I think that'd be a pretty good life. Alright, filling this out. Just got a little bit more shadow going in over here that I'll add. Wasn't a necessary addition, to be honest, but heck, we did it. And we're gonna keep doing it. Cool. That's building nicely. I'm still happy with this, even though it's not turned out as perfect as it could have, and not turned out to look much like the reference. I'm still fairly happy with it. I think it's looking alright. Heck, it could have looked a lot worse. And especially with the fact that I'm doing this a little bit out of my style. You know what? It's not going to be a perfect one, but we'll get better as we go. I'm not speaking technically. Looking on camera, it doesn't look as good as I thought it does. But I'm not going to let that get in the way. I'm going to do this and then do another one the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day, until I'm happy with the results. Because if I just sit here and give up on it, it's always going to look like this and always look the same. There we go. How much time? Oh, we've gone very much over the time. But you know what? First two faces, can't say they're not interesting. I do like the look of them, but definitely think there's a lot of improvement to do. But let's talk about that. Back to my face. Right, so I don't know if you guys can see it very well. Oh, obviously covering it there. That was okay. That was okay. I won't deny that I think it could have gone better. But you know what? Sometimes these episodes aren't going to be great. They're not going to be the best drawing quality, but that's the point of them. I mean, I want them to be as raw as possible, and I want you guys to see me going through this process. And I want you guys to join in and kind of be along for this whole ride as we all get better at what we do. So that's about it for this episode, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.